Welcome to the Food and Friends discussion of nutrition myths and popular nutrition topics. Thank you to all our clients who submitted topics they wanted us to discuss. There are an ever-growing number of topics to discuss from popular science or social media trends that discuss nutrition. We will discuss these 10 topics today, but if you hear or see something on social media or TV, or your friend mentions something that doesn't sound quite right, please call us and ask us about it. We love to explain nutrition and set the record straight on confusing food topics. Let's start by diving into some common marketing terms. All natural. This is a made-up term by the marketing community. It has nothing to do with health or even the cleanliness of food. It has no meaning. Non-GMO. GMOs, or genetically modified organisms, have gotten a lot of attention in recent years, especially in the grocery store. But what are they and what do they have to do with the nutrition value of the food we're eating? I'm so glad you asked. The genetic modification we're talking about has to do with breeding plants to select beneficial traits. Traits like resistance to some bugs or weather conditions. The modification sometimes changes the nutrition content so that food has more nutrients available to us, such as golden rice, which was developed to have higher than average vitamin A for people in places in the world where vitamin A deficiency is common. Also, there is no independent agency verifying this label claim. Anyone can put it on the label if they want to. It's marketing. Antibiotic hormone-free, so hormones in poultry. The USDA banned the use of hormones and steroids in poultry in the 1950s. Antibiotics are given if animals are sick. If you want to avoid poultry that was given antibiotics, so you reduce your risk of developing antibiotic resistance, you can look for a seal that says, no antibiotics with a USDA process verified seal. Otherwise, it's just words on a label, but no proof. Free range. The USDA defines free range or free roaming chickens as those that have access to the outside. This is a great sentiment. Just know that different farmers can interpret this differently. For example, this can mean chickens have outdoor access with one door or window versus chickens roaming free outside in grass. Low fat. Different types of fat will be used differently in our bodies. Saturated fats and trans fats, which will be shown on the nutrition label, can increase our risk of developing heart disease because we find these mostly in animal products like meat or dairy. While unsaturated fats, monounsaturated or polyunsaturated, can reduce our risk of developing heart disease. These are mostly found in plant sources, like olive oil, avocados, nuts. Most fat is made up of a combination of saturated and unsaturated fat. Heart-healthy fats help us feel full. They are important in the production of hormones and absorption of vitamins, such as vitamins A, D, E, and K. One confusing oil is coconut oil, which is actually high in saturated fat. Coconut oil is not a silver bullet miracle food either, but that's for another webinar topic. Perfection is not really possible here, so this is a place where reducing harm might be the best we can do. Keto and paleo-friendly. So keto is a diet trend of eating a diet low in carbohydrates and high in fat in hopes of sending your body into a state of ketosis, hence the name keto, in hopes of burning fat or forcing the body to use fat as fuel instead of glucose. It was started as a medical eating plan for people with certain types of seizures. At best, this strict and restrictive diet will give you a temporary loss of weight, but in reality, it is not sustainable or realistic and is not as nutritious of an eating pattern for long term. As we just mentioned, having too much saturated fat can increase the risk of heart disease, and cutting down on carbohydrates can rob our body of important nutrients. Carbohydrates are essential for giving us fuel for the brain, fiber, antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. Eating balance is the key, not restricting any major food group, but we'll discuss this more in a few minutes. We also want to mention that a restrictive diet like this is about changing the shape or look of your body temporarily. It does not address the root of health or illness. Health and nutritious eating is not about changing the shape of our body. Let's dive a little deeper into the terms organic and gluten-free. These terms have very specific meanings. However, when we see food with this label, it does not mean healthy or more nutritious than other foods. So what does organic mean? Organic food does not have different nutritional value than conventional or non-organic foods. USDA certified organic means that ingredients were grown with no synthetic hormones, antibiotics, pesticides, biotechnology, synthetic ingredients, or irradiation. If it doesn't have this label or another country's organic certification, it's just marketing. Organic food does not have different nutritional value than conventional or non-organic. Also, please note, organic farming can still use natural pesticides. Gluten-free. Gluten is a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye. If you have celiac disease or a known intolerance to gluten or an allergy to any of these foods, you must avoid these. Otherwise, foods with gluten, including whole grains from wheat, barley, and rye, are highly nutritious and offer fiber and B vitamins, often missing from gluten-free foods. Comparing a gluten-containing brownie versus a gluten-free brownie, both are in the category of a snack or treat. Let's look at the ingredients. The serving size for these cookies is about the same. The cookies on the left are gluten-free, but not necessarily more nutritious or healthier than the cookies on the right with gluten. The gluten-free cookies actually have a little more saturated fat. Gluten on its own is not unhealthy unless you as an individual have a known intolerance or allergy to any of these foods. For our next myth, let's look into the claim that fresh produce is better than canned or frozen. Frozen and canned produce is just as nutritious as fresh. Frozen and canned produce is picked and preserved at its peak ripeness. Since these are often available out of season and are more affordable, these are a great option to make sure you get balanced meals and snacks every day for an affordable price. When choosing canned fruits and vegetables, be sure to read the nutrition label and look for products without added sugars and lower sodium amounts. Draining the liquid from the cans and rinsing with water can also reduce the sodium content by a whole 40%. Let's talk about diabetes and fruit. If you have diabetes, you may have been told to avoid eating fruit. While it's true that fruit contains a natural form of sugar that raises blood sugar, it also contains important nutrients like vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Fruit also contains a lot of water, which helps our bodies stay hydrated. Fruit can be part of a healthy diet for people with diabetes. To ensure you're getting the most out of the fruit, be sure to focus on whole fruit. Choosing fresh, frozen, or canned fruit packed in water or its own juices will ensure you're getting the fiber, vitamins, and minerals without the added sugars. While 100% fruit juice does count as a serving of fruit, the process of juicing removes the fiber from the fruit, making it increase blood sugar levels much faster than whole fruit. Many fruit juices also have added sugars, which will have a negative impact on your blood sugar. If you have diabetes, try spreading your fruit out over the day. Eating fruit with a source of protein like cheese or peanut butter will also help prevent your blood sugar from increasing too quickly after eating fruit. Are carbs bad for us? Although carbohydrates have a bad reputation, they're an important part of a balanced diet. Carbohydrates provide energy and they're the body's main source of fuel. Carbohydrates also aid in digestion. Fiber is a type of carbohydrate that helps keep our digestive systems regular and promotes regular bowel movements. Not eating enough fiber can increase the risk of constipation. Carbohydrates also play a role in disease prevention. Diets high in fiber can help reduce the risk of developing heart disease. In addition to preventing heart disease, carbohydrates with fiber can help prevent type 2 diabetes and certain cancers like colon and rectal cancers. Choosing carbs with fiber, such as whole grains, beans, and lentils, will also slow down how quickly our body absorbs the sugars from the carbs, which helps keep our blood sugar more stable. Whole grains are grains that contain all of the edible portion of the grain. Whole grains have more fiber and vitamins and minerals than refined or processed grains. Whole grains include whole wheat, brown rice, oats, quinoa, barley, and corn. Checking the ingredient list on packages is the best way to know when a food contains whole grains. Look for words like whole wheat flour, whole grain, stone ground whole, brown rice, oats, or oatmeal. There are many health benefits to carbohydrates. Getting the right balance and type of carbs is the key to a nutritious and balanced diet. Here are some tips to ensure you're getting the most nutrition out of carbohydrates. Focus on fiber-rich fruits and vegetables. Make at least half of your grains whole grains. Eat more beans, peas, and lentils. Choose low-fat dairy products and limit added sugars. Our next topic is dietary cholesterol and fat. Cholesterol is a waxy substance found in our bodies. Food sources of cholesterol come from animal products such as meat, poultry, seafood, and dairy products. Our body needs cholesterol to build cells and make vitamins and other hormones. Our body naturally produces all the cholesterol we need. For most people, if you eat some foods with cholesterol, our livers know to stop making more cholesterol, which helps keep our cholesterol levels in balance. One type of dietary fat that can raise our cholesterol levels in the body is saturated fat. Saturated fats are found in animal-based foods such as beef, pork, chicken with the skin, and full-fat dairy like butter and cheese. It's also found in tropical oils like coconut and palm oils. Choosing lower fat foods in place of saturated fats can help reduce the risk of heart disease. So while foods like eggs and shrimp contain cholesterol, they are low in saturated fats and can be a part of a balanced diet without raising cholesterol levels. If you'd like to learn more about heart health and nutrition, check out our webinar, Heart Healthy Fat, on the Food and Friends website. Soy is one of the most controversial subjects in the world of nutrition, so let's provide some background. Soybeans are a member of the legume family, along with other legumes like peas, peanuts, lentils, and beans. Native to East Asia, soy has been a part of the human diet for thousands of years in various forms, including tofu, edamame, miso, soy sauce, and soy milk. Like other legumes, soy is a great source of protein and is one of the few complete plant-based protein sources. This means that soy contains a good amount of all 9 essential amino acids, the building blocks of protein. Soybeans also provide other beneficial compounds and nutrients, such as fiber, potassium, and unsaturated fats. Another type of nutrient found in soybeans are isoflavones, which have been the subject of numerous studies as well as numerous myths. Isoflavones are a type of compound called a phytoestrogen, or plant estrogen, which behaves similarly in the body to human estrogen. Because of this, there was interest that they could have an effect on certain estrogen-related cancers, like breast cancer, and animal studies did show some concerning effects in rodents. However, as you may have noticed, you are not a rodent. Different animals metabolize foods differently, and other lab studies have shown potential tumor suppression and antioxidant effects in human tissue from these same compounds, meaning soy may actually have some anti-cancer effects. In human studies, those who consume more soy products generally have either lower or similar rates of cancer and cancer mortality than those who consume less. As an example of this, women in East Asia, where soy products are much more common in the diet, display much lower levels of breast cancer than American women. To summarize everything I just said, soy is a safe, high-quality plant protein and fiber source that does not seem to be linked with higher rates of cancer, and may in fact be associated with lower risks of cancer and mortality. Feel free to include this legume in your diet, as the benefits seem to outweigh any potential risks. You may have heard the saying that sugar feeds cancer. While this is partially true, it is also very misleading. This is because all cells, including healthy cells and cancer cells, use sugar for energy. It is impossible to feed our healthy cells without also feeding cancer cells. Some believe that cutting out sugar can starve cancer cells. This is not the case, as our bodies need sugar to function and will convert protein and fat into sugar when necessary. When we do not eat enough carbohydrates, our bodies may resort to utilizing protein stores to create sugar. This can result in muscle loss. For those who are diagnosed with cancer and undergoing cancer treatment, energy and protein needs are often higher. This is another reason why cutting out major food groups is typically not beneficial. The next topic we will explore is alkaline water. Water makes up around 71% of Earth's surface and almost 60% of our bodies, so it's no surprise that drinking adequate water is important for our health. Drinking at least 2 liters a day is generally recommended, and drinking more is usually a good thing unless your doctor has recommended a fluid restriction. However, there is a great deal of confusion surrounding what should or shouldn't be in the water you drink each day. One of the biggest examples of this is alkaline water. Alkalinity is the scientific term for a substance that has a pH higher than 7, and it is the opposite of acidity. Water is made alkaline by the presence of certain minerals and a negative charge. The associated health claims state that drinking it will change the pH of your body and you will have benefits. The 2 main problems with this are that water has to pass through your highly acidic stomach before absorption, And even after absorption, your lungs and kidneys do a very good job at keeping your body's pH level stable. There is simply no way that drinking a bottle of water will significantly alter your body's pH. The minerals found in alkaline water, like calcium, potassium, or magnesium, do have important roles in the body, but these can be acquired from whole foods. When comparing the cost of purchasing alkaline water to getting a glass from the tap, we think your grocery budget can best be spent elsewhere. Speaking of tap water, many people are concerned about its safety in comparison to bottled water. While occasionally the system does go wrong, outside of a boil water advisory, tap water is actually more regulated than bottled water. Tap water is regulated by the EPA, which is required to conduct and show an annual water quality report to residents, while bottled water is regulated by the FDA with much looser reporting guidelines. In fact, some bottled water is just tap water from a different municipality that's been bottled and sold back to you. Of course, some people prefer bottled water over tap water purely on the basis of taste. Interestingly, the taste of tap water is largely determined by mineral content, often the same minerals found in a bottle of expensive alkaline water. If this is the case for you, purchasing a water filter is a much more economical and environmentally friendly way to go. While a filter might run you $30 up front, over time it will save significant money and reduce the number of plastic bottles being used. If you want to further improve the taste, you can add herbs like mint or basil, fruits like citrus or berries, or even vegetables like cucumber or fennel. You can also eat more fruits and vegetables, as they often have a high water content and can help hydrate you. All these tips can help you reach your 2 liters of water per day while saving you money. Finally, maybe the most prevalent nutrition myth is that fundamental nutrition advice is constantly having massive changes. While it's true that new nutrition research is emerging all the time, it may change our stance on individual foods or nutrients. For instance, we no longer consider eggs to be bad for someone with high cholesterol. Most nutrition research is not as sensational as headlines would like you to believe. There are a lot of different foods that can all fit within a healthy eating pattern. There are no superfoods, and there are also no toxic foods, unless, of course, you have an allergy to it. Overarching nutrition advice has been and remains simple. Eat lots of different foods that you enjoy, with an emphasis on fruits and vegetables, whole grains, plant fats and proteins, lean meats, seafood, and dairy, and occasionally treat yourself to the many delicious foods that don't fit into one of those categories. That's the big secret. Now, different medical conditions may call for slight variations on these general guidelines, but a handy way to spot bad nutrition advice is any counsel that recommends eliminating whole food groups. Whether it's carbs, fruits, seed oils, or any food invented after the Paleolithic era, all foods have a place in a healthy eating pattern. The key, as with so many things, is moderation. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you learned something from this webinar and that it will help you avoid some of these common nutrition myths. Please remember that you always have access to our myth-busting team here at Food and Friends if you have any questions that we didn't answer today. Tune in next month for the next edition of our webinar series, and we'll talk to you all soon.